15 Things You Didn't Know About Breguet. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello again, Aluxers, and welcome back to our channel. You must be in search of some new knowledge on the finer things in life, and we are more than happy to provide it for you. Today's subject is something that is highly revered in elite circles, as no billionaire is worth their salt without a stunning timepiece to complete their day-to-day business outfit. We have provided you with stories about several different watch brands, and today is the turn of Breguet. Founded in 1775 by Abraham Louis Breguet, the Swiss watch brand named after its creator holds the reputation of being one of the leading producers of exquisite luxury timepieces in the world. With around 30,000 pieces sold per year and an estimated annual turnover of approximately $720 million, the proof really is in the figures. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. With no further ado, here are 15 things you didn't know about Breguet. Number 1. Abraham Louis Breguet is considered the greatest watchmaker of all time. The founder of the Breguet brand, Abraham Louis Breguet, is widely regarded as being the single greatest figure in the history of watchmaking. Using the money from the dowry he received for marrying a woman from a prosperous family of the French bourgeois, Breguet set up a business in Paris after 10 years of study under Ferdinand Berthoud and Jean-Antoine Lapine. As you are set to discover through the course of this video, Breguet is responsible for some of the most important and influential innovations in watchmaking. Number 2. Napoleon took a Breguet carriage clock into battle. Before heading into battle in Egypt on April 24, 1798, French historical figure Napoleon Bonaparte is said to have purchased a gilt bronze Breguet carriage clock to take with him. Known only as clock number 178, the timepiece was a delicate travel carriage clock that featured a silver dial and large moon phase display, with an additional 3 windows for date, month, and day of the week. Thankfully, due to Napoleon's battle expertise, the clock survived, and the fact that he brought such an item during this time is testament to how important timekeeping must have been in warfare for coordination and navigational purposes. Number 3. Marie Antoinette commissioned a famous pocket watch. Arguably, Breguet's most famous commission was that from the infamous French queen, Marie Antoinette. Commissioned in 1783, the number 160 pocket watch remains the most luxurious and illustrious in Breguet history. It was a self-winding pocket watch in gold that was ordered to contain every refinement and complication possible. Of course, a project like this was not going to be completed in a hurry, and in fact, the watch took a staggering 43 years to complete. The only problem with this? It happened to be 34 years after the beheading of Marie Antoinette. The watch took so long to make, in fact, that Breguet himself died 4 years before its completion, so his son Anton Louis had to take over and finish his father's work. Number 4. The pocket watch was stolen from a museum in 1983. Marie Antoinette's number 160 pocket watch was acquired by the L.A. Meyer Memorial Institute for Islamic Art in Jerusalem in 1974. It sat proudly on display until one fateful day in April 1983. The crime remained unsolved for decades, but it was finally solved in 2007 when, nearly a quarter of a century after its disappearance, the pocket watch was returned by the widow of a notorious Israeli criminal named Naaman Diller, who had confessed to his wife on his deathbed. Number 5. A replica of the pocket watch is worth $10 million. Would you believe that the most expensive Breguet timepiece is actually a replica? Of course, there is no surprise that this replica is of Marie Antoinette's infamous number 160 pocket watch. After Swatch bought Breguet in 1999, the company set about recreating the iconic watch that, at the time, was still missing. Taking 3 years to produce from 2005 to 2008, the self-winding watch has a minute repeater, perpetual calendar, reserve indicator, jumping hour, equation of time, and bimetallic thermometer. It consists of 823 different pieces and comes in a box made from the royal oak tree of Versailles that alone is worth $100,000. Although the watch itself is not for sale, there have been several offers over the years, some as high as a staggering $10 million. Number 6. The name tourbillon derives from a mysterious astronomical reference. In 1801, Breguet patented the tourbillon, arguably one of the most notable inventions of his career. A tourbillon is a regulator that is designed to counteract the effects of gravity on the inner workings of a mechanical watch. A marvel of design in itself, the name tourbillon also became the talk of the town, with many people wondering about the origin of the word. Meaning whirlwind in modern French, experts have determined that Breguet actually chose the name from a series of writings dating back to 1644 that uses tourbillon to describe the way in which the planets rotate perfectly around the sun. This seems totally fitting considering the seamless effectiveness of the watch part. Number 7. Winston Churchill was a famous Breguet fan. We've already mentioned Napoleon and Marie Antoinette. Now, how about one of England's most famous historical figures? It's said that Winston Churchill was a huge fan of Breguet timepieces. Churchill's pocket watch of choice was a Breguet, given to him by his uncle. Never one to cut corners, Churchill used to take his pocket watch back to Breguet to get it cleaned, and when he did this on one such occasion, shortly after the end of the Second World War, Breguet sent the watch back to him, expertly cleaned and free of charge in recognition of his heroic service. Number 8. Breguet's unofficial mantra is usefulness over beauty. In an attempt to stand out from the crowd, Breguet bucked against the trend at the time to create lavishly decorated ornamental timepieces that were being produced by English manufacturers. In a move that feels impressively before its time, Breguet favored a minimalist, elegant, neoclassicist design for its timepieces. Whenever a design choice was made, it was always due to an increased function for practical purpose. For example, the now iconic guilloche work on the rims of the Breguet pocket watches was introduced as a way to prevent slipping in a man's pocket and give him better grip when holding it. Number 9. Breguet originated the modern timepiece. When you consider just how many watchmaking features Abraham Louis Breguet developed, it's very valid to say that he essentially originated all the makings of a modern timepiece. From repeating mechanisms to the Breguet spiral to his knack for inserting his personality into all of his creations, the list of influences and elements accredited to Breguet is more prolific than any other timepiece inventor in the last 300 years. Breguet had such an influence and direct hand in so many of the standard elements of watchmaking that it's often easy to forget that they all came from a single person's innovative mind. Number 10. Breguet watches have been owned by many fictional characters. Watches are always an accessory that can say a lot about a person, real and even fictional. Over the years, Breguet timepieces have been a popular choice in many works of fiction, from literature to film. Some of the most memorable instances of fictional characters wearing Breguet watches include Dr. Lorraine in Tolstoy's War and Peace, Baron Danglars in Dumas's The Count of Monte Cristo, Eugene Onegin in Alexander Pushkin's novel of the same name, and even Bruce Wayne in the recent motion picture Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. You can learn more about the man behind the Bat mask by clicking in the corner for our special Bruce Wayne video. Number 11. Breguet is one of the oldest surviving watchmakers. Alongside fellow luxury watchmaking giant Vacheron Constantin, Breguet is one of the oldest surviving watchmaking institutions in the world. Other brands have come and gone, unable to sustain popularity and business as we enter new ages and eras of watchmaking history. But perhaps because of the pioneering reputation and spirit that Breguet boasts, it has been able to weather all storms and remain just as popular today as it ever has been. Number 12. They also produce an array of lifestyle accessories. Though timepieces are undoubtedly what Breguet has been known for across the world, the brand also has interest in other areas of fashion and lifestyle. Alongside their showpiece watches, Breguet also produces lines of luxury writing instruments, cufflinks, and women's jewelry. This recognition of some of the other desirable elements of elite and luxury shopping is yet another example of Breguet's historic reputation for constant innovation. Number 13. Breguet is a part of the Swatch Group. Since 1999, Breguet has been a subsidiary of the powerful Swatch Group. The company changed hands several times during the 1970s and 1980s before being acquired by the Swatch Group and provided with a more stable existence. A mighty force in the world of watchmaking, the Swatch Group employs over 36,000 people across 50 different countries and has an average net sales of around $8.4 billion. Other prestigious brands owned by the Swatch Group include Blancpain, Harry Winston, Omega, Jacques Dreux, and Léon Hatteau. Number 14. There are 3 Breguet museums across the world. The impact on the Breguet brand of the world of watchmaking is so significant that the company actually has 3 museums located in different destinations around the world. Anybody wanting to learn more about Breguet and be able to see some of their very best and most iconic works up close and personal can do so by visiting museums in Paris, France, Zurich, Switzerland, and Shanghai in China. Number 15. Breguet invented the world's best clock hands. Can you imagine designing something so iconic that it becomes universally named after you? That was precisely the case with the unique clock hands that Breguet invented for his timepieces back in 1783. The visionary inventor introduced narrow pointed hands that had an apple-shaped hole at the tip, and since their inception, Breguet hands have come to be used not only in Breguet brand timepieces, but also by other famous companies such as Cartier and Patek Philippe. Those who matter in the world of watchmaking will tell you that there's no clock hands more beautiful than the original Breguet hands. Thank you for joining us today, Alexers. We hope you found a new appreciation for the wonderful world of Breguet. Where does Breguet rank alongside the iconic watchmakers for you personally? Do you own a Breguet timepiece yourself? Let us know in the comments. And now, how about one final bonus fact as a thank you for sticking with us to the very end? Number 16. Breguet produced the very first wristwatch in 1810. Another of Breguet's several iconic claims to fame is that they are generally accepted to have produced the very first wristwatch in 1810. Historical evidence proves that Breguet received a special commission from the Queen of Naples, one of Breguet's best clients, and this commission resulted in the creation of the number 2639, a watch that could be worn as a bracelet on her wrist. A novel innovation at the time. Thank you for spending some time with us, A-Luxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an A-Luxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.